A moment of silence for those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
On November 21st, 1950, a regimental combat team of the U.S. 7th Division entered the North Korean border village of Haisanjin.
Things did not go as planned.
It was a time of great and exalting excitement. The country was up in arms. The war was on. In every breast burned the holy fire of patriotism.
Take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of
toy
them.
pistols popping,
Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in
hissing
heaven.
and spluttering.
Therefore when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest,
Your father was a good man. Growing up without him is going to be hard. It's going to hurt. You'll feel alone, out to sea with no shore in sight. You'll wonder, why me? Why him? Remember, you have warrior's blood in your veins. The code that made your father who he was is the same code that'll make you a man he would admire, respect. Put your pain in a box. Lock it down. Like those people in the paintings your father liked. We are men made up of boxes, chambers of loss and triumph, of hurt and hope and love. No one is stronger or more dangerous than a man who can harness his emotions, his past. Use it as fuel, as ammunition, as ink to write the most important letter of your life.
On behalf of the President of the United States and a grateful nation, I present you this flag in recognition of your husband's heroic achievements. You have my deepest condolences. One more flag to present. This one I think you know. On every deployment, Rourke carried this with him.
Regiment, move out.
Again, my deepest condolences.
Thank you to the women and men who gave their life serving this country.
Sir, last night I read the DOD announcement about a PFC Phelps. He is from my hometown, Clifton, Colorado. I don't know if this falls to us or to the Pentagon, but, sir, if the duty does fall to us, I would be honored to escort him home.
God bless the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Memorial Day, which honors the fallen of all of America's wars, got its official start after the American Civil War. But the ritual of honoring war dead at a specific time goes back thousands of years. Most ancient cities would separate the dead from the living by burying them well outside their walls. But ancient Spartans would bury their fallen soldiers in their city as a way of honoring them. And after the famous battle with the Persians that was depicted in the movie 300, the Greek historian Herodotus memorized the names of every fallen soldier. The first American incarnation of the day was in 1868, when General John Logan declared Decoration Day, for the purpose of decorating the graves of fallen soldiers in the brutal war that had ended only 3 years earlier. On the first Decoration Day, flowers were strewn on the graves of over 20,000 Union and Confederate soldiers who were buried at Arlington National Cemetery. By 1890, Decoration Day was adopted at the state level across the entire nation. With the tragically massive loss of life in World War I, the holiday was expanded to include the fallen military members in all American wars and came to be known as Memorial Day. And in 1971, in the thick of the Vietnam conflict, Memorial Day became an official federal holiday. Like Veterans Day, Memorial Day began as a way to honor veterans of a specific war and was later expanded to include veterans of all wars. Memorial Day is distinct in that it specifically recognizes the military personnel who gave their lives defending their country. Many other countries have holidays where they honor their war dead in similar fashion. Russia does this on Victory Day, Great Britain on Remembrance Day, Australia and New Zealand on Anzac Day, to give just a few examples. When you're a veteran, every day is Memorial Day. All who have served know that the risks are high, but the reward of freedom is higher. Part of the camaraderie that we share is the knowledge that for those who have sacrificed everything, we will never forget.
Dodged the bullets. We sank up over our head. That was the last time I saw most of them. 31 men jumped off that boat. Just 7 of them made it to the beach. The only cover was a block of concrete the Germans had failed to clear. That's where I set up a collection point for the casualties. Medics were trained not to dig in. We were there to see the troops, and for them to see us. I detailed Corporal Raymond Lepore to hunker down and treat the men while I brought in the injured. Ray and I had been together since '39. I knew I could count on him. It was total confusion. Shells exploding, boats blowing up, people yelling because they couldn't hear anything, machine gun bullets hitting the water all around you, the roar of the boats coming in. It's like you're all alone in a world of 1 million people because you're concentrating on what you have to do. Hadn't gone far when I felt the bullet go through my right arm. I just kept going. I was thinking of only one thing, getting to the men who needed me. There was a soldier laying right on the edge of the water. One arm was almost shot off. Every time a wave would come in, that arm would be pulled back out to sea, and he'd try to reach out for it. The first thing you're supposed to do is keep a wounded man from going into shock. But he was too far gone. Nothing I could do for him. He died in my arms. I was on my way to treat another soldier when a piece of shrapnel the size of my hand tore a hole in my left thigh. I put a tourniquet on it, gave myself a shot of morphine, and went back to work. You did the job you were trained to do. If you didn't, you died. I could feel my right arm going numb from the first bullet. Saw a guy struggling in chest-deep water. Grabbed him with my good arm just as a Higgins boat rolled in and dropped its ramp. The ramp hit me right in the back, crushed 2 vertebrae, and pushed us both to the bottom. That's when I started talking to the one guy I knew could help me. I said, God, I've asked you many times, but just give me another chance. Let me save one more person. And for some reason, that boat raised its ramp and backed out. Somehow I managed to drag his boat to safety. I told Corporal Lepore he'd have to take my place. He stood up, And then he just collapsed against my shoulder. His helmet fell off, and I saw the hole right in the center. Everything went black after that. The next thing I knew, I was on a boat going back to England. A Navy doctor looked at my dog tags and he told me, "We have another Lambert here." My brother's Bill's stretcher was put right next to mine on the dock at Weymouth. He'd been on the beach with G Company. We went to the hospital in the same ambulance. When I woke up, he was on the cot next to me. He looked over and said, "What are you doing here?" "Same thing you are," I told him. And he said, "Oh God, now what's Mother gonna think?" We both made it out okay. Bill lived to be 92. People who have never been in a war should understand what soldiers give up. The guys we left on Omaha Beach never had a chance to live the lives they've dreamed of. Day hasn't gone by when I haven't prayed for the men we lost and their families. I still wake up at night sometimes thinking about the guys. Every man that walked into those machine guns and that artillery fire on Omaha Beach that day, every man was a hero. What kind of person would I be if I didn't tell their stories?